Are you seeing any pattern of any post-COVID complications now emerging? In particular, are these patients who've already had certain comorbidities? Are you seeing a pattern, doctor?
So I'd like to divide these post-COVID complications into two groups. The virus affects the organ itself, which is the lung, heart, kidney. And then the virus, through the blood and stimulation of coagulation dysfunction, affects circulation all over the body. So I agree with Dr. Guleria and Dr. Trehan that the organ gets damaged. Now, as far as the lung is concerned, we are seeing people who came in with healthy lungs, had the obvious COVID pneumonia. And because the pneumonia was widespread, as the pneumonia heals, it heals with scarring. And scarring takes away from the elasticity of the lungs. So the lungs cannot expand and contract well, so they cannot diffuse the gases. So they need to go home on lesser and lesser degrees of oxygen. And how much time they will take to recover their elasticity. Whether the elasticity will come back fully, we don't know. And we already have cases, I have colleagues overseas, where the line for lung transplant has already piled up. As far as the heart is concerned, we know that every viral infection, whether it is herpes or measles, you can get the heart affected in two ways. One is the heart muscle, myocarditis, which in my opinion, we've had so many patients in Bombay who came in with poor ejection fraction, but they recovered and their ejection fraction came back to reasonably almost normal limits. But coming to Dr. Trehan's example, that was a complication, the heart attack, of the coagulation, the arteries which carry the blood to the heart. And when this patient went on and did his treadmill, he had a heart attack. Which is why we give our patients blood thinners, not for 2 weeks, not for 2 months, but some even for 6 months or even for life. So if these people tilt the demand-supply situation on the treadmill, they can get a heart attack. Having said that, I would say every syndrome, neurologic, weakness, kidney, is all because of the post-COVID reaction. Esoteric examples are there where the thyroid can get affected, the pancreas can get affected. But all one needs to do is be vigilant, take the return back to life normally, and keep doing your parameters depending on which organ is involved.
I want to come to specifics. Come to specifics for the treatment. And I want to come to all three of you one by one on that. Dr. Guleria? Treatment, you're saying that as you've been saying, and you are India's leading pulmonologist, particularly when it comes to lungs, you've seen the scarring of lungs. Is there a treatment that you would advise to patients after they recover? Do you suggest that they come back every 2 weeks to the hospital for a checkup? Do you advise that they be careful with the kind of exercise they do? What do you advise?
So we're already doing that. And what we do is, not besides what is being done in terms of a scan or an X-ray, we do the lung function test also on a regular basis. And what we're doing is not only those patients who are admitted, we're also finding that those individuals who may have had a mild illness and who are in home isolation and whom we are now contacting and asking them to come and get their lung function done, some of them will also have features which suggest that there was some scarring in the lung, but they got away without having to have been admitted. So it's important to remember that it's not only in the admitted group of patients, but also in those who may have mild disease and may have been in home isolation. If we start looking at them also, there would be some that would have alteration in the lung.
So what would you recommend, doctor? Would you recommend that they do these regular checkups every couple of weeks? What do you recommend, Dr. Guleria?
What we are saying is that it normally takes around 6 to 8 weeks, and we would say that after 2 to 3 months, because sometimes if you test them too early, you will find there is a lot of changes, but they will heal over a period of time, and lung function and their oxygen saturation actually improves. So normally after 2 to 3 months, you get an idea of what is the residual effect which is left. It's important to remember that COVID-19 causes what we call chronic inflammation. It causes inflammation in the lungs, in the vessels, in various organs. This inflammation can persist even after the virus is gone and you have actually recovered clinically.
Right.
And this subclinical inflammation which persists in these organs can continue to cause some degree of a problem, but as it becomes all right over the next few weeks, you may recover. And that's why it's important to assess these patients around 8 to 12 weeks to get an idea of what is the long-term effect that they may have on these organs. What we really advise our patients are basically pulmonary rehabilitation, a gradual exercise that we make them do. It could be done using treadmill or some other exercise, or even yoga in a structured manner can be done so that the lung capacity improves, the respiratory muscle, the diaphragm strength improves, and they're able to gradually improve their oxygen saturation. There are certain drugs also which are being tried, which are known as anti-fibrotic drugs. And in the early stage, we even give steroids for a little longer period of time with the hope that the inflammation which is there will resolve at a faster pace and lead to minimal scarring. But the efficacy of these drugs is still being studied because this is a new phenomenon and we are still not sure which drug will actually be the most beneficial.